Now, a Rutherford Weather Storm Alert.
All right, friends, we are back here on the Rutherford Weather Channel. There is a severe thunderstorm warning just to our southwest. That includes Columbia over into Marshall County and Chapel Hill. And that is why we are on the channel here to kind of let you know this is a storm that could make its way into Rutherford County. We've got lightning, thunder going on here in the county. You may actually hear the dogs bark in the background every now and then. They seem to bark every time there's a lightning strike. But here we go with another chance at severe. And if you remember, we were talking about those storms to the southwest that could, retain their severe characteristics. And that's kind of what we are seeing now, especially down here in Lawrenceburg and even down here in Florence, Alabama. All of these storms are making their way to the northeast. And I know we've had a lot of rain here this afternoon. Let's check where the back edge of everything is right now. And it is back here. It's going to be a straight line. Don't just ignore the arrow there, but it's in this area here, right? So east of this, we still have some severe chances, and we are seeing those happening down here. And here is Murray County right next door to Rutherford County. So that's kind of why we went on here, to make sure we're all updated. Let's go back to our National Weather Service radar here. And we're just kind of in a wait and see until the radar pops back in. This is a good view. Mount Pleasant to Pulaski to Lawrenceburg. That's a severe thunderstorm warning. And storms are moving to the northeast. So that would generally include parts of Rutherford County, right? Let's see. Let me pull up here our local National Weather Service radar. I was looking at velocities for a moment. Interesting to note, we're seeing maybe that boundary pull back north just a little bit. So we're definitely going to have to watch the southern end of the county here right now. Thanks for all of those who are joining us. Let me refresh my comments section. So the tornado warning that is further to the southwest. Let's see. The barking. Gotta love it, right? Sure, Brent, lightning and thunder in Christiana. We're going to experience more of that. MH 1206 definitely has our attention. Not really watching Kentucky. This is for Rutherford County, Tennessee. So we are definitely watching here. Columbia, Chapel Hill, Marshall County. Let's look at our velocities. Definitely seeing some areas that could provide some spin here. So we need to watch what's going on here. What we have seen is that this storm complex and this storm complex has pulsed up and pulsed down, which means there have been small tornadoes that pop up within the entire line. So small areas, and then one scan away, it's gone. So these could be possible pop-up, I don't know what other word to say, but pop-up tornadoes. They come down, they go back up, and then kind of reform. So certainly watching the whole situation here. But the severe thunderstorm warning goes all the way up to the county line just south of Eagleville. So we certainly want to be watching here what's going on. Of course, the flash flood warning continues, and we've got a lot of rain to get through here before it's all said and done. Here's the radar in motion. And you can certainly see here, that's the storm we're watching. That storm moving to the northeast. This storm will move to the northeast. Hopefully that one will not create problems for us, maybe further south, but this one is the one we're watching for some possible wind issues. Okay. So let's take a look at a few of our cameras that are around the city. This is downtown Murfreesboro. Rain on the lens, heavy rain falling. You can definitely see the roads have lots of water on them, so that's a problem, right? Here's a look from our Siegel Skycam looking to the north, and just look at all the rain falling there. In buckets, rain in buckets. We'll go a little further to the west in neighboring Triune, Amilville, in that area, and rain in buckets. Is there a theme here? Yes. I can tell you that storm that's down in Alabama, hopefully following a little further to the south, that is now an observed tornado. So that one will be moving into Florence, and that hopefully will skirt south of our area. But we're definitely watching. Let's go back to this camera. It seems as that one has frozen. So lots of rain continuing to fall. Answer a few of your questions here that I'm seeing. What do you think about Smyrna? You know, I think we're going to see some heavier rain, lightning, thunder in Smyrna. It's just kind of too early to tell in Smyrna. How about in Kittrell? We're in a trailer. Honestly, do think that this would be a severe thunderstorm warning, but because it is now, and the conditions that we have here in the county. Here's the latest readings at 9:55 at the Murfreesboro Airport, 64 degrees. Dew point is still fine, but, with 64 degrees, that's definitely not coming from an area where, well, it's 66 down there too. So, but again, a severe thunderstorm warning. Let's look a little further south. Yeah, down in Florence, Alabama, it's 78. So that certainly helps with that. That's over in Alexandria. We're going to go here, keep a couple of our live cameras going. So that's Murfreesboro looking to the east and the Siegel area looking to the west. So the storm that we're watching right now is right here, moving to the northeast. Okay. So where this goes is what we're going to be watching. Since it's in a neighboring county, Marshall County is under the severe thunderstorm warning. That's what we're kind of watching here for us now. 8:40 and 24. Lightning is wild, I'm sure. Yes. Definitely down here in Florence. Not that we're watching that area in terms of what, I mean, that could be something that's downstream for us, but definitely seeing, looks like an observed tornado in that area. Boy, bring on sunny and 64 for us next week, right? But this is our threat right here. Another 8 minutes, and we probably will get an update on this. This storm is moving at northeast at 50 miles an hour. So why don't we give us kind of a track here? Let me see. Okay. Track to the northeast at 50 miles an hour. Here are some possible times of arrival. It's not necessarily saying that we're going to get a severe thunderstorm in these areas, but just kind of a quick look. Rover, which is just over the county line in Shelbyville, and Bedford County, 20 minutes. Midland, 26 minutes. Link, 27. Deason, 27. Fosterville, 30. Crescent, 32. Christiana, 32. Barfield, 34. Mankinville, 38. Kittrell, maybe 46. Bradyville, 48. Reedyville, 50 minutes. We're trying to give you as much of a heads up as possible here, and that's the latest scan that we can give you. So we should know here in just a couple of moments whether we're under severe thunderstorm warning or whatnot here. Let me take a look at National Weather Service chat here. Not seeing anything at this point. Looks like meteorologist Justin Bailey joining us here right now. And Justin, we're just kind of talking about this severe thunderstorm warning is going to expire in about 6 minutes for Marshall and Murray counties. Looks like maybe our southern counties could get in on some action here.
Yeah, it looks that way. Yeah, got some strong winds coming towards the southern part of the county out of the Chapel Hill, Bryant Station, Columbia area with this heavy thunderstorm moving into the county.
Let me share my screen here with you so you can see what we're looking at. So the camera that's in the bottom portion there is looking to the west. Of course, all you can see is heavy rain falling. And the downtown camera pointed to the east. It's kind of watching for any, lightning flashes and that kind of thing. So we'll keep a look at that, but that may be a little too far north because both of those cameras are in downtown or in Siegel. So we're really kind of concerned about the southern portion of the county that could get in on this heavy thunderstorm. We've been talking a lot today about boundaries and, where things are and temperatures. I mean, it's 64 at the Murfreesboro Airport at the last report, dew point of 64, which that just kind of tells you that it's very moist, and we're seeing that, right?
That's correct. And do me a favor on that radar there. Do you have the ability to check some of those stations, like see what the temperature is down there in Lewisburg or Chapel Hill?
Yeah, here's Lewisburg, and that's 64 with a dew point of 64 as well. And a little further south in Pulaski, 66, and a dew point of 66.
And what were we here in Murfreesboro?
64, 64, yep.
Interesting. Okay.
And down in Shelbyville, 64 with a dew point of 64, and that was at 9:55. So probably another
Now
hour.
check somewhere down in North Alabama, around like the Florence or Huntsville area.
All
You
right.
compare what our atmosphere is compared to down there where there are active tornado warnings.
So Huntsville, 79, 63.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a big difference, isn't it?
It's a lot more energy down there.
Florence, where
Muscle Shoals.
an active, Florence and Muscle Shoals in that area, 78 with a dew point of 67, where that active tornado warning is.
So the ingredients down there are a lot better. There's still enough here for things to get interesting, but we don't have the same setup that they do just an hour and a half drive south of us.
Yeah. We have definitely had a lot of rain this afternoon, and had we had the rain like they had up in, even Nashville or further to the northwest, I know we're under a flash flood warning, and that's going to go for another hour, 18 minutes. But we definitely have not had the rain amounts that other areas have that are seeing some flood situations. I mean, out in Memphis, they were talking about a possible levee failure, and that's definitely not what we're looking at. And there's the new severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for Rutherford County. It's going to be southern Rutherford County from Murfreesboro to the south for the next 47 minutes. So let's see, here are the particulars. It just says Rutherford County, so pretty much the whole county here, 60-mile-an-hour winds and quarter-size hail.
That's what we were expecting, and that's why we came live.
Yep. Been kind of watching off to the west here, and so that's going to prompt a necessary move here to join up with our radio coverage as well with a severe thunderstorm warning. So give me a second here on the Rutherford Weather Channel, and we'll get that going. So a new severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Rutherford County. And that is in effect here for another 46 minutes. So just issued. We'll dive into the details here in just a couple of moments. Joining here on the Rutherford Weather Channel. Whoops. Need to do one more thing here. Make sure that connection is going. Okay, here we are on WGNS Radio along with the Rutherford Weather Channel. We have a severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued for Rutherford County. This is going to go for the next 49 minutes or so until 11:15. It's too late to do the math now. 60-mile-an-hour wind gust, quarter-size hail. This is radar indicated. And this is a storm that's coming out of Lewisburg, Chapel Hill. And just looking at the radar presentation right now and putting this into motion as meteorologist Justin Bailey is joining, it kind of looks like the area that has some of the higher winds and maybe, weak circulations at times. Again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning, but this is going to be a little further south maybe. Looks like we're going to just get a big wind bag and lightning and thunder and that kind of thing here.
Yeah, one of the things I would watch for with any sort of quick, brief spin-ups, if that were to occur, because I know we are under an active tornado watch till 3 a.m., as you're looking at that radar and as it loops, you see those individual cells out ahead of that riding northward. And as they merge into that bow, they will want to induce some spin right there.
So this is the area that you're talking about, and you're seeing kind of a spin to the north, right?
Yeah, anywhere those leading cells, when they attach to that line, they'll want to, you could get brief little spin ups right there on those little leading edges like that. Otherwise, you're looking at, that bow itself. The apex of that bow would be the area of greatest concern for the damaging straight line winds up to 60 miles per hour.
Here's the latest in the reflectivity that we're looking at. Let me back out so we can at least see the southern parts of the county here.
It may be easier to view that from Huntsville because Nashville's radar is looking through so much rain to try and sample that as well.
Okay. Let's go down and do that. There's the Huntsville radar. So we're looking from the south. There's a new radar scan there.
Yeah, so you can see kind of some of the small little, little circulations that are embedded in there. Whether or not they produce anything is to be determined. There's not an active tornado warning on them, but something to monitor there. Otherwise, you can also see kind of that curve from the greens as that straight line wind is gusting out.
Weatherology meteorologist Jay Marsalek joins us, and we're talking about the severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect. Really, I haven't really, it said for all of Rutherford County, but this does not include, let me go back here to reflectivity, does not include Smyrna and Laverne, but it is roughly from Amelville to Blackman to Las Casas and Milton to the southwest, and includes downtown Murfreesboro and all points in between. Jay, any updates here that you can pass along?
Yeah. Otherwise, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning. It's in effect until 11:15 p.m. Really, we're just looking at strong winds right now with quarter-size hail. A couple hours ago, this storm was tornadic and was producing tornadoes, but at this time, it's kind of losing its strength as it continues to move into our county. Right now, main hazards, again, 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail, and that's moving to the northeast around 55 miles per hour. It'll be into the southwestern portions of Rutherford County here in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Near Eaglesville right now is where we're seeing those high winds around 60 miles per hour, and that's going to be traveling also north along U.S. Highway 41, and that's moving to the northeast towards Overall and into southern Murfreesboro. Again, that is a severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern Rutherford County until 11:15 p.m. For your protection, move into your interior building on the lowest floor of that building and stay away from windows. From the Weatherology Weather Center and meteorologist Jay Marsalek.
Thank you, Jay, for the update there. And we are definitely going to see some heavy rain. This is kind of pushing into Rockville and Eagleville now, the heavier returns on radar. It'll be from Chapel Hill. This is going to continue to the north and east as well. And notwithstanding, Justin, we're definitely going to see a lot more rain. The thunder and lightning is going to pick up. The winds may pick up a little bit here as well, which it's been raining pretty heavily all evening, and more of that is on the way.
Right. It doesn't look like the rain's going to be letting up anytime soon.
Now, the storm that was also tornado warned, as you can see down here from Lewisburg to Cornersville, that's going to affect Shelbyville, which is just one county below Rutherford, obviously. And that has now just been severe thunderstorm warned. More of the pipeline that will come up from Florence. So I guess my point here and comments from you, Justin, is all of this heavy rain that's developing to the south and west, it's going to have to continue to move to the northeast until this backside comes in the wee hours of the morning, which means likely more heavy rainfall down here in our area.
Right. And you can zoom out and, follow that train of thunderstorms. I called it the rain train earlier in a text, all the way down to the Gulf Coast. And that's not moving east very fast, if at all. It's all going northeast. It's just a fire hose being opened up right into Middle Tennessee.
I opened up, this is kind of a compilation of all of the National Weather Service radars. And I know this is kind of a wide view here now, but as Justin was saying, the backside is way back here, even into very far eastern Arkansas, and slowly, very slowly moving this way. So this is definitely several more hours of heavy rainfall that will continue. Hopefully the severe weather threat will back off, but look, even more tornado warnings down here in Tupelo in Mississippi. So this is still going to come through to the north. We were kind of thinking about.
I just want to add on to that. There is a confirmed tornado now on that Colbert County storm.
Yeah, and so with all of this training that is going on here, we're going to have to get through all of that. That doesn't mean we're going to have necessarily tornado warnings here, but it does mean all of this water, all of this heavy rainfall is going to continue to fall. And, the National Weather Service or Storm Prediction Center and National Weather Service together put, Rutherford County in this tornado watch until 3 a.m. So it's definitely going to be a continuing situation through the overnight, it looks like.
Yeah, we're going to have several more hours to go here with threat for the strong storms and very heavy rainfall.
So what does this latest radar loop tell you? I mean, down here toward Lewisburg, it looks like almost that the storm these were two separate storms, and they've now kind of morphed into one large storm.
They really have, and it appears that southernmost cell is still trying to cling to whatever little bit of surface-based instability might be present and retain some of its supercellular characteristics with some rotation on that southernmost cell. But the northern ones lost a lot of that. It's really become outflow dominant, going to be just a wind bag primarily coming into Rutherford County, and very, very heavy rainfall.
So we are at I'm sorry, I looked at the wrong clock. I haven't changed one of my clocks to the right time. It's 10:38 now, and we're looking at a severe thunderstorm warning for maybe the southern 2/3 of Rutherford County, excluding Smyrna and Laverne in the warning. A flash flood warning is in effect for the entire county, and we're watching the storm down in Lewisburg as it moves off to the north and east, and kind of morphing with the storm that did have some circulation, but just really bringing high winds here. Let's look at the velocity product.
Yeah, it looks to me like the highest winds are probably moving into the Eagleville proper right now, on the leading edge of that bow. And though that strongest section will want to come right up Highway 99, New Salem Highway, as it heads in towards downtown Murfreesboro.
Yeah, just taking a little bit of a sampling here of some of the winds, and this is looking the radar. Let me make sure that I'm on the radar out of Nashville. I think I was maybe still on. So, 40, 50, maybe even 60 mile per hour winds.
That's what the warning's for. I don't see those on the actual velocity product.
Yeah, I don't either.
But that's not to say that they don't exist and the radar's just not sampling them.
I was kind of thinking that same thing, and maybe it's coming into a weakening phase here through our area because
the presentation on radar still has that bow echo look that you would expect to see. And it could be too, looking from Nashville's radar, the radar's looking for winds going towards or away from it. And with an eastward moving storm due south of the radar beam, you're only seeing winds. It's almost nil winds. They're not going towards or away. So it really doesn't get a good sampling of what the strength of those winds could be. I don't know if I explained that well, trying to.
I think so. This is a look at it from south, looking up north from the Huntsville radar, and a check of the velocities here. Looks a little messy, but there are...
At least from Huntsville, those are winds going in its direction.
Mm-hmm. but nothing overly, I mean, maybe some 40, 50 mile per hour winds down toward Christiana.
Which would be on the apex.
Mm-hmm. But this is what you were talking about just a second ago, kind of a Boeing look. And again, this is from the Huntsville radar. So we're looking at it from a different direction, but we're still seeing that same feature about to come
Well,
into
the
downtown
bow I
area.
would most highlight would be that red bow coming through Eagleville.
All right. So that would be this
Yep,
one.
right there. Yep.
All right. Let me leave that there. I'm going to get a radar update, but I don't think it's going to change it a terrible amount. And then that's the velocities coming out of that. Anything kind of stick out from that?
No, not too much, Jay.
It's kind of just I just see it's kind of like a minor bow echo here, and we're kind of at the point where this storm's at the end of its life cycle, really, and it's starting to line out here. And what I mean by that is you're just getting a cluster of storms now. You don't have those isolated discrete cells, which are like the dangerous ones that are capable of producing tornadoes. Not saying that this storm isn't capable, but like the velocity updates that we're getting here on radar, I'm not seeing any tight circulations. There is an indication of a little bit of rotation here towards like Belfast, just to the west of US Highway 431. But other than that, it doesn't look that great, just the high winds and the quarter size hail.
Definitely something that we're keeping a close eye on here. And, you know, we have had lots of severe weather reports here in Middle Tennessee today. Not necessarily here in Rutherford County, other than the very, very high rainfall rates. And you know, I was thinking someone earlier said, you know, we haven't had a drop of rain all week. Well, you're definitely going to get that tonight for sure. But right here,
I mean, depending on the time you wake up, you could wake up to rainfall still.
oh sure. So this is kind of that apex of the heaviest rainfall. So, and maybe some wind gust pushing into Rockvale. Overall, downtown Murfreesboro coming up next, Christiana. And then eventually,
If there was any part of this that did try to produce a brief spin-up tornado, it would be that southernmost part of this bow, I'd say northwest of Shelbyville, where there's a couple little kinks right through there.
let's look at that on the velocities.
And we're familiar down there in Christiana with quick little spin-up tornadoes. I was circled just left of there.
Right here, maybe? Or
no,
left of
right there. Yep.
Yep. Just updated.
I'm keeping an eye on that.
Yep. So, and that's kind of been the mojo of these storms as they've come through. You know, really tight circulations quickly, and in the next scan, which is about 5 minutes or so in between.
Yeah, I think about 4 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes in between each scan's pretty average.
It's got a good reading now. That's definitely rotating. That would be my main target of circulation right now.
That would probably be right about lined up with where the northernmost extent of that boundary we were just talking about resides. So it might have just a little bit more juice right there.
Got a tornado velocity signature now on the next update, on the next scan.
So that would be, you're talking
41
Midland Fosterville Road down there coming across the southernmost parts of Rutherford County, Christiana, Gum Road.
So are we talking
Elam Road
here between Midland and Fosterville, or are we talking here?
Are you talking about the rotation where we're seeing it?
Yeah.
Northwest
of Shelbyville. Just north of State Highway 64.
Okay.
Yeah, northwest of Ward Trace.
Fairfield?
To your left more.
Oh, right here. Oh, I see it right there.
No, further.
Oh, further. Okay. Let me, whoops, sorry.
It's west of 231.
West of 231. Oh, Wheel. Right in there? No, it just updated here.
I'm looking on it's going to be like like a couple ticks just to the right of the county border into Bedford. So if you find the left corner of Bedford County, a little bit to the right there.
There's the left corner of Bedford right here.
Yeah, not the left corner, north of that. So so we're State Highway 64, right where that is, literally just to the north of that.
Anchor Mill, kind of where that El Bethel, just west of El Bethel,
So here's
and
Bedford.
north of that Bedford.
Rural parts of western Bedford County.
So hopefully for Rutherford County, that is going to continue off to the north and east and not affect us here, right?
And it looks like it's heading right for the southeastern portions of Rutherford County.
All right.
You see west of Fosterville, just northwest of Deason.
Gotcha. Okay. So let me
Yep.
kind of circle that area right in here, right?
So northwest of that's where the red and greens are coming together.
Yep.
Northwest of that. So would we say that would be Long Beach?
Right there. Yep.
Okay. There's so many little kinks here and so many reds and greens together. It's hard to kind of to see that.
There could even be a couple little rotations right there.
Yeah, let me recenter that. So Midland, just south of Midland. I'll show you where the county line is, roughly. Sometimes.
And these would be the type of spin ups that'll be nothing one frame and could be, a brief spin up tornado on the next frame, and then it's gone by the third frame.
So that's the county line. We'll wait for the next update here. And do you still think that Huntsville is the best place to look for this?
I personally do, just because of the orientation of the line and the trajectory it's taking.
Okay. So again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning. We're kind of looking and making sure that we don't have something spin up here real quick. Williamson County is out of the severe thunderstorm warning. And it's going to continue here for Rutherford, Bedford, and Marshall until 11:15. And the flash flood warning has been extended. You may, if you have the weather apps that give you the warnings, just got mine, or one of like 10 that I have. But this is going to extend the flash flood warning until 5:45 in the morning for Rutherford County.
So I did go over to the Nashville radar, and it's got a similar presentation.
Okay.
You can see a couple little kinks going down through there in northern Bedford County into the southernmost parts of Rutherford County.
Let's look at it from there. That's Bedford County. Here's Rutherford County, where I'm kind of waving the hand there.
Yeah, now I'm seeing I had embedded circulations like more inside the more rain core area, but now along the leading edge now, it's just starting. It's just the whole leading edge is starting to rotate.
Agree. But it's those little appendages. It's not like it's
not the whole thing,
not
but like
big supercell rotations.
Yeah.
So this is kind of if you're watching here, we're looking at the velocities, and you can see the reds and the greens, and they're little kinks like right here, just kind of drawing through those, and it's those kinks that could spin up a quick tornado. But again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning right now. The National Weather Service has not seen fit to upgrade those. But even, you look for reds and greens together with nothing in between. That's kind of a gate-to-gate look, and they're all over.
Pretty messy.
Yep. These are pretty much, wouldn't you both agree, kind of almost east of 231 until we maybe get to Christiana, then still a little west back toward Midland as we look down through. Let's just take a quick look back down here at the Huntsville radar, just for comparison. Much of the same. There's a quick radar update, and looks like it's about to go across 231 right into Christiana proper, Fosterville, and then across the county line. Here's a quick look at velocity, or I'm sorry, reflectivity, which we haven't shown you in a moment. And this is the just kind of the leading edge, and I'm going to kind of draw this roughly. And so these are kind of the kinks in the reflectivity that you see all along the line. And you're talking about, you know, especially places here and here. You know, those are the things that we're kind of looking at for those who are listening.
Southwest of Shelbyville, almost due south of Lewisburg, there's a little bit of a CC drop and a tight little couplet there. We might have an actual brief tornado there south of Lewisburg heading towards Bedford County.
I'm looking there from. Are you looking from Huntsville?
I'm looking from Nashville.
Okay, let me flip over there.
It's kind of between, if you were to triangulate Lewisburg, Cornersville, and Petersburg.
So here's Lewisburg, Cornersville. What was the other point right here?
Petersburg. Yeah, that'd be it.
So why
and
don't
it does correlate with the tight little couplet on velocity.
kind of put a little motion on that? Maybe a
I
little.
know it's not Rutherford County specific,
Right.
but we got viewers down that way.
Well, that kind of gives us an idea on what's happening with the storms here. Very messy look here in Rutherford County. Let's take a look at the reflectivity once again. And really where this warning is, we're about halfway through, right? Halfway through the warning area. Well, maybe a little bit more. Just got a radar update here. So from Siegel High School almost to Oakland, just past downtown, Murfreesboro, east of Riverdale High School, east of where Toots is before you get to Whitworth Buchanan, even down toward Christiana and Fosterville. Here's the county line right here into Bedford County. So this is the area that we're watching here for, and this is the area that is maybe showing some brief spin-ups if there are any, but we're not seeing any reports of that now. They're kind of talking in the National Weather Service chat about Giles County, so that's further away, but that just kind of shows you the atmosphere we're in. Worried about this storm right down here in Pulaski. And again, these are all storms that are moving to the north and east. You know, I really didn't give ourselves Justin much of a shot earlier today after the initial storms came through of even having a severe thunderstorm warning, but here we are.
Yeah. I mean, we were kind of talking about it. I thought, I was like, no, our threat's over.
Yeah, I mean, with this, I'm seeing
wrong.
now. I'm just seeing embedded circulations. I got multiple now, just along the line. Nothing really too strong along the line now moving into Rutherford County. But again, I mean, now the hail cores are starting to diminish a little bit. I'm only getting penny-sized hail now.
So
I see the overall hail cores are starting to weaken.
And Justin, when we talk about, multiple little areas, that could also represent just some really strong winds in a very small area too, couldn't it?
It could be just little spots where the winds are gusting out just a little bit stronger. If you have just the velocities on, switch over to the storm relative velocities.
Okay.
And you can see that's picking up some of those 60, maybe even 70 mile per hour winds. Now, that's a loft, but it is possible that the heavy precipitation cores could bring those stronger winds to the surface.
So we're talking about
just west of 231 Church Street. I'm seeing some 60, 65, 70 mile per hour winds through there. So in that heaviest band, that heaviest precipitation could bring some of those heavier winds down, stronger winds down to the surface.
So where you see the brighter yellows in this area, we could be seeing some higher winds. That's from Eagleville to Rockville to Overall, south of Rockville, even over to Christiana, south of downtown Murfreesboro right now. But still some pretty gusty winds even in that area.
Looks like probably over MTSU, Church Street's almost fully in the heart of the strongest part of the storm now, based on my latest update.
Yeah, here's 231, kind of where I'm moving down through here.
Yeah.
Barfield to Christiana, even down into Fosterville.
Going to go right out Woodbury Highway towards Reedyville, Kitchell.
So that's where you see this 70S marker right here. That's the Woodbury Highway that goes on into Woodbury there.
And possibly right up Highway 96 towards Auburntown through Milton and Las Casas.
Let's take a quick look there too then.
The warning does go up that high, and that kind of is on the apex of that bow now.
Let's look at reflectivity. And this is what you're talking about, kind of the apex of that bow, right?
Yep.
This is the northern extent of that warning that goes right through Las Casas to Milton. This is where we're seeing kind of a surging of the wind right through downtown Murfreesboro to the east. And all along that line, we're seeing some very high winds, which has prompted this warning, and it's going to go for another 16 minutes. I haven't looked at hail. I'm not sure if either of the two of you are, but
yeah, I'm not seeing nearly as strong anymore.
Maybe there are several little kinks along that line that do need to bear being monitored. One just east of downtown Murfreesboro, one approaching I-24 just crossed Church Street, and the other one looks like right on the Bedford County line.
Looking through some of the comments and people mentioning. I'm not sure where some of the people are commenting from. They're not necessarily saying, but
I was just taking a look at the Colbert storm down here. That's going to be our next biggest threat here if it does decide to take a more northeasterly track.
So we're talking down in Alabama?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely a storm that
has a tornado still on the ground.
Yeah, observed.
And even if that doesn't get up here, boy, that's a lot of heavy rain that's tracking northeast out of Lawrenceburg heading this way too.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a very, very real flash flood threat developing.
that is something that should not be, I guess, glossed over here in the fact that the flash flood situation could be a real problem. I do have road closure
Mudslides
map
too.
here to show you. And we're still at the same 6 that we had even coming into today. And that's going to be your normal, Elam Road and out in Eagleville Swamp Road and some normal places. Let me just make sure that this is the most current, and it is. And in terms of power outages, we're seeing a few power outages dotted around. The purple ones could be anywhere from 1 to 50. Let me just kind of take a quick look and get particulars on that and see how many total outages we may have in Rutherford County. And right now, that is 222. And the light blue would be Rocky Fork area. And that was reported about an hour ago. Rocky Fork in North Rutherford County. So back to the radar, and it's in motion here. And Justin, as you were mentioning, all of this, let me do a little quick illustration here. So all of this has got to go somewhere, and Rutherford County's kind of in the path as it continues its march to the north and east.
Yep. That is not a good look if you live in a flood-prone area.
Several of those here in Rutherford County, obviously. And again, the severe thunderstorm warning continues for the next 12 minutes. If this is not extended, and I would be shocked if it is, at least for the moment. We've got to watch down toward Lawrenceburg because all of that activity has to move to the north and east, which could prompt another severe thunderstorm warning. But right now, let me stop the radar.
Still going.
Yep. If east of Kittrell onto Reedyville, Sharpsville onto Portersville and in the next county, from Lascassas to Milton, from Pleasant View to the Cannon County line, from Plainview to Big Springs to the Cannon County line, and then east of Fosterville on into the county line with Manchester. You haven't seen the wind, you haven't seen the rain, the heaviest rain yet, but it is on the way for sure. So we're watching this severe thunderstorm warning that will continue for the next 11 minutes. The flood warning, flash flood warning, has been extended for another almost 7 hours.
I would say the next 15 to 20 minutes here. I think that severe thunderstorm warning is going to be set to expire. The storm's moving pretty rapidly to the northeast still.
Yeah.
It's just going to be the torrential rainfall because we got all this rainfall still behind that's got to make its way through. It's going to be a long night.
Yeah. Long night of lots of, thunder, heavy rain, not necessarily a severe thunderstorm. This is storm relative velocity, as Justin kind of pointed us to a minute ago. Now, this is looking way up into the storm, but some of those winds can be transported down, obviously. This is pretty much showing that this is high-res velocity, kind of showing any of the activity that could cause maybe a brief spin up, but not really expecting that down here in the very southwestern or southeastern corner of the county.
It appears most of those little kinks have been absorbed into the line. One last one remaining really is going to be coming right up just outside of West Cassis Pike, Highway 96, right at Paul's Hill Pike. Last little kink right there that I'm keeping an eye on. Yep, Sharpsville, Guy James Road, Browns Mill.
So I'm assuming that's kind of right in here, this kink.
Yep, that's about the last one I see. That if there was something that spun up real quick along that, it'd be probably right there.
There's velocity.
Not seeing much on velocities,
Yeah.
but just on the radar presentation, that's something that catches my eye, something to monitor.
Right. We are seeing some, differing of colors there, but that doesn't necessarily mean that. It's just the radar presentation. That's what you kind of have to look at with this kind of system. This has been
they can spin up so fast. You got to look for those indicators before you actually see.
Yeah. And
by the time you see it, it's probably gone.
This has been one of those weeks. It's been 5 straight days, I believe, or 5 out of the last 6 days we've been under a tornado watch. It's something like that. Yesterday was kind of different, but it has been insane. There is some hope. Tomorrow we could have some leftover rain falling, of course, but once we kind of get behind this initial line, Monday I think is in the 60s and sunshine, and maybe a little cooler than what we have been, but I don't think in April we should have 85 because this is what you get.
No, believe it or not, I actually went for a swim in my pool today, and it's not heated.
Wow.
It was 74 degrees, and the water was. I was like, hey, that's warm enough.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. That tells you how warm it's been.
Yeah. We've had about 4 days in the 80s, even mid-80s.
I think we had 87 yesterday. It was hot.
It was hot yesterday. Absolutely. So here's the radar in motion as we kind of take a look at this, and really strong storm down toward Lawrenceburg. That's going to continue its trek to the north and east. But the segment that has been bowing here in Rutherford County may be bringing us some high winds. Is about to it's between Las Casas and Milton, between Kittrell Elementary School and Reedyville.
There's your new warning right there.
Down to the southeast. Yeah, this is going to be for parts of Rutherford, Bedford, DeKalb, Cannon, Warren, Wilson, and Coffee. So this warning is going to be expiring in 6 minutes, and the warning that's going to be on the far eastern edge is in another hour or so. But primarily the threat is going to be over once this goes by, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a torrential downpour that's left, and then whatever the storms down to the southwest are going to do. If they continue making their northern track or make a little bit of an eastern turn.
So this is the area that's going to be in that warning, and it's going to go by pretty quickly. Right in here, okay? So this little sliver.
Yeah.
It's so late I can't even draw very well, but this is that kink that Justin was kind of watching a minute ago. Maybe another one here, and another one down here, and another one here.
I see one now to the east of Bell Buckle.
Yeah.
Just going to be to the west of Beech Grove now.
A little further south down in Bedford County. Right in here.
Yeah, that's a pretty good circulation right there.
That's going to move its way on across 231 just before you get to the county. Well, maybe around the Beech Grove exit. And Justin, it wasn't that long ago that you were coming up 24 on the Beech Grove exit, and there may have been a tornado that popped down right in front of you.
Yeah, no, that wasn't very long ago at all.
Yep. Seems like ages ago, but it really wasn't.
And that goes back to my point of a lot of times with these spin up type tornadoes, you can't wait for the rotation to be visible on radar. A lot of times you got to look for those early signatures. Because if you wait for it, by the time you see it on radar, it's going to be gone. They can last for 2 to 5 minutes, and your radar scans are every 4.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to miss it.
Really kind of an interesting look on our last scan here.
See that area on the northeastern part of the county where there is some weakening of rotation. It's not greens yet, but it's transitioning that way. Yeah, right up there.
Right here.
So it's weaker with right next to some stronger winds, and that could be the beginnings of it starting to spin, coming right down Halls Hill Pike.
Show between Sharpsville and Halls Hill Pike right now on the latest scan. And we're going to get a new one here in just a second. But between Sharpsville and Portersfield, be on alert. Really kind of moving up toward probably between Milton and Porterfield, I should say.
Yeah. Not saying it's a tornado yet, but be aware. I mean, it's weak rotation, but there is a little notch there on the radar, and you got some indicators there.
That one north of Beech Grove's looking pretty good.
Yep. A little further to the south. That's going to travel outside of the county. So this
I would say that rotation is on the southeastern corner of the county.
You think
very far southeastern corner. That's where the rotation is right now. So that is in Rutherford County.
Okay.
But it's moving out by the next scan.
So are we talking right in here where I'm circling? Can you see?
Yeah, far southeast corner, just north of Beech Grove.
Right here. See.
Yeah, just to the east of US Highway 41.
I mean, it's amazing. It takes 3 of us to try to find all of these little kinks, and
they show up and then they're gone. They show up and then they're gone.
That quick, they could spin up, drop down, tear up a couple houses, flip a trailer, and out of there.
Yep. So just south of the county, right around the Beech Grove exit off of I-24, we're looking there. And we're also keeping an eye on the area between Sharpsville and Milton right now. And I would think that those are the last 2 areas that we really have to worry about at the moment.
Yep.
So just to show you on the reflectivity, which is radar, just the normal where it's raining. Here's another update, but right there, and before it comes through, right there. So let's erase that. Look at the velocity on the very new scan. The one south looks a little broader to me. I'm not sure. What do you think? Well, maybe not. But it's definitely moved past the southeastern corner of the county.
That's right.
So now it's between Sharpsville and Milton is the other area that we could see at least some damaging winds. As we look at reflectivity, this may be a little ahead, or the reflectivity may be a bit ahead of what we're seeing on the velocities. This would be kind of the presentation with the winds moving in this direction toward Milton. So then Milton, then it's Auburntown's issue. Here's a broad look. I would think that the warning for Rutherford County will be allowed to drop off here in the next few minutes.
You would think so.
There's a new severe thunderstorm warning though. It's in effect until 12:15, and that covers the whole eastern half of Rutherford County.
The whole eastern half? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, for 59 minutes, I see that. But
it could be canceled though.
yeah, I'm thinking the threat is right along the county line right now.
The high winds, yeah.
Yeah, from Milton down to Reedyville, almost to Bradyville. I mean, I really don't see any issues back in here. Do you? Either of you? Outside of the leading edge? Because here's the leading edge.
Are being transported to the surface in like the rear inflow jet, which doesn't. I don't know. I'd be shocked.
Now, look at the velocities, and that's really the area between Sharpsville and Milton. The only one in the county that shows some winds. That's for smarter people than me to make that decision. I will tell you that the tornado warning for Lawrence County is going to be canceled. So that is good.
I would expect that as it moves into our 66-degree air out of that 80 degrees down there.
Yeah, so south
Going right into a cold pool.
South of Fayetteville at 64. And it was moving from an area that was definitely in the 70s. Just south of that, south of Athens, 76.
Yeah.
And thankfully, I'm going to take a quick look back here at the Memphis radar. The storms down in northern Mississippi from Grenada to Toluca, Florence, and Tupelo are not even severe warned at this time. Doesn't mean we wouldn't get some rain. But the fact about that is at least we're not seeing this stream of severe warnings coming through. We'll loop radar just a little bit. And, of course, the storm that's in Pulaski is lifting off to the north and east. To the north of that circulation is this big pool of heavy rain and storms that is definitely probably going to affect parts of the county. So it does appear we're rapidly moving into maybe a flash flood situation, which we're kind of in. Let me stop the radar loop. And the portion of that heavy rain from Las Casas to Milton moving in that direction. Here's a look at the winds to and from the radar. Everything moving in the same one direction. So quickly becoming, and this was always a severe thunderstorm warning. We were just kind of making sure that there was nothing that popped up there. And thankfully, I don't see any reports of that. Trying to look at a few of the comments. MJ saying great work, so we appreciate that.
New tornado warning, Limestone County.
Yep, down in Alabama.
It's another one confirmed tornado on the ground again.
Yep, that's observed.
Emergency management confirmed. So she's still producing.
So areas like Fayetteville, Huntland, Winchester, extreme southern parts of Middle Tennessee on the Alabama line could be in the path of some of that type of weather.
So I would think
For Rutherford County proper, now that this has come through, our threat's essentially over.
maybe, Lewisburg, this may be a little too drawn too high, but just including those counties that you were kind of talking about, Southern Marshall, Bedford County. But this is the zone that we could have severe weather continue. But it does, in fact, look like, we're going to see heavy rainfall east of town. But if you're listening or watching back toward Eagleville and Rockvale, even up towards Smyrna, Laverne, downtown Murfreesboro, the rain definitely much lighter. And in the camera views that we have, that's in the top, Murfreesboro looking east and Siegel looking west. And the rain has definitely kind of slowed just a bit here. We'll check. A minute ago, we were at 222 power outages. Let's just take a quick look at our power outage map. And right now, we are at 214 in Rutherford County. Still the power outage in the Rocky Fork area looks like the highest totals. Look at our road closure map, and nothing has changed there either, which is good to see. But all the usual suspects. If you live in an area that has a slab road, Justin, we know those slab roads are those slab bridges or whatever, they're going to be covered by water for sure.
If they're not already, it won't be much longer.
Yeah. Most of those are closed.
And if you live near one, you know it. Avoid them.
Are we anticipating a tornado watch in Murfreesboro? Well, we're under a tornado watch until 3 a.m. I don't know if we're going to go until 3 a.m. with one, but there is one. Just answering some of the comments.
And to build off of that comment, the most severe portion of this storm system is still well to our southwest, tracking it. Very, very slim chances that it will move into Rutherford County. This storm would have to make a pretty drastic turn to the north.
Mm-hmm.
But it could scrape into the Bedford, definitely the Coffee, Cannon County, maybe the far southeastern corner of Rutherford County could see a little bit of the high winds and heavy rainfall associated with that, where the tornadic activity is down to the southwest.
But certainly not the tornadic activity itself.
Not the tornadic activity itself, no.
Yeah. Good point there. Kendra brings up a good point. Kendra says, I'm scared. I have a 1-month-old, I want to know if I'm going to be okay. I don't think we're in that kind of a situation, really, honestly. We've got some heavy thunderstorms moving through, some winds. It does look like the wind threat is going to be a little further south as we go on, despite being under the tornado warning. And we're, of course, watching that. But the point about that I wanted to bring, Justin, is, there are a lot of folks that have severe storm anxiety. Maybe they've gone through, a tornado before. I hear folks all the time, and they think back to, Good Friday 2009, and they're thinking, that was just a triggering moment, and we're not anywhere near that kind of a situation right now. Is the point?
No, I will go on a limb and say, for those that do struggle with stuff like that, for the weather we've had this week, the worst of it for Rutherford County proper, with tornadoes and large hail and damaging straight line winds, it's over. We just now have to deal with this lingering flood threat.
Someone commented, Courtney on Facebook, I need a nap. I think we could all use a nap after what we've been through for the past number of days. Just wanted to try to answer some of the questions that we might be seeing on our social media channels. We're on radio as well. 101.9 AM 1450 in Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 in Smyrna. We're following this severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect for the next 49 minutes, and this only includes the very eastern edge of the county, from Milton to Reedyville, and honestly, I think if there was anything, it would
the
be north of
polygon's going to be
Porterfield.
updated here.
Yeah, I'm thinking so. And hopefully it will take Rutherford County out, which we could allow radio to move away from that. Let's talk about the rest of the night, because let me
The rain ain't going nowhere.
yeah, that's kind of the issue.
That's the sad part.
Yeah.
Zoom up to that 30,000 foot view and show how much rain we have to go through.
So
Just
this
a
is
swath.
kind of the radar composite, looking at all of the National Weather Service radars. And here's the back edge, and it's really, there's a little bit further west of that, some lighter rain. Well, I guess I didn't draw that necessarily the best, but Cape Girardeau, between Jonesboro and the Tennessee line, west of Memphis, out toward Pine Bluff, and all of this has to come to the north and east. So the rain, as Jay said, will not end anytime soon, but hopefully the severe threat will, and then it is just a flash flood situation, and that flash flood warning continues for the next 6 hours. Just to kind of,
Hopefully we start to see more eastward progression with that line at a little bit more of a clip than what we have been noticing.
but as this flash flood warning mentions, until 5:45 a.m., so that means several more hours of rainfall. And it doesn't matter necessarily if it's the heavy rainfall or, light to moderate. All of this is going to continue to add up here. Let me pull back up the National Weather Service radar. Kind of seeing maybe a pulse up here in Woodbury, but that's across the county line. Seeing maybe a few more lightning strikes there.
Well, we had a couple little cell mergers there too, which could be helping to enhance some of the intensity of the updrafts. There's a couple little cells that were out ahead of the line that are now, like I was talking about earlier, doing that merge into the line could induce just a little more oomph into it.
Just trying to take a look at some of the comments.
I would say just for like the northwestern thirds of Rutherford County, I would say that the severe weather threat is pretty much over.
May see some of this that's on the southern part of Murray County make its way into our area. Not seeing much after that. I was getting a call from Alert Rutherford, which you can sign up for. Check Rutherford County Emergency Management Agency for ways to sign up to receive alerts and warnings. So now Moore County has been added to tornado warning. That's for the storm in Pulaski. But now
It still has a reputation and a nice hook on radar down there.
Rutherford County has been taken out of the severe thunderstorm warning.
Yeah, it says 10 minutes ago, confirmed tornado was northeast of Rogersville.
So we'll continue to keep an eye out on things to see if we have any changes here in Rutherford County. But for Rutherford County proper, just to show you here on the radar, you can see the orange boxes. Those are east of us.
Honestly, I mean, I think most of Rutherford County's in the clear now. Just heavy rainfall for the rest of the night.
Yep. Orange boxes are east of us. Red boxes are south of us. just a bunch of green boxes to get through.
So we're going to say stay away and so long.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Yes,
so
sir.
long, see ya, and stay away, which I think it will.
As of now, it's still making a good northeasterly track. It's not turning. I'm watching the radar move. It's continuing to keep a nice northeasterly track. Looks like it'll stay south of us. Heavy rainfall from that system, though, could impact us. But as it continues to progress, though, I'm seeing that rain curtain starting to, or like that hail core with that tornadic system is also starting to decrease as it enters into the less dew point areas.
So with that being said, we are going to say goodbye on radio since we are not under any severe or tornado warnings at this point. We are under a flash flood warning, and the flash flooding is definitely going to continue as we go through the overnight period. The flash flood warning continues until 5:45 a.m. That may be extended. I don't think it will end early. So we have several more hours of heavy rain to get through. But right now, the severe thunderstorm warning to the east, tornado warnings are to the south, and we believe that that is going to stay in that direction. So we will continue on the Rutherford Weather Channel on video, Facebook, YouTube, X, Twitch. If you want to continue to watch, we'll keep the radar going here for a little bit. But for now, we will wrap up our coverage on radio. And stay with us on the Rutherford Weather Channel for Jay Marcelick and, of course, meteorologist Justin Bailey. I'm Bryan Barrett. And we are clear of radio. And, guys, I think we can maybe take a bit of a step back here on the Weather Channel. We'll just kind of leave things going here for those who want to continue to watch, and thank all of those who have kind of been with us, receiving lots of thank yous, which is appreciated. Not necessary, but appreciated. We do thank you for being with us on what has been a long week. And Justin, hopefully we've got a nice long stretch here, but it is April and it's severe weather season, so who knows?
I hate to break it to you, but now looking at the storm, it is now taking a more northerly turn.
Okay. Keep an eye on
that storm in Giles County, I think is how you pronounce it.
Giles, yeah.
Giles, sorry.
That's
Giles County, yeah. It's now taking a more northerly track.
It's really good.
It will send it right through Rutherford County.
Okay. Stop here. Talking about the storm that's, Giles County.
Yep, the new storm tracking is now having it heading right for Rutherford County, as I feared.
As it does so, it'll cross into a very stable air mass.
Right, and hopefully it'll decrease, but as of now, that is the track.
Northeast still?
More northerly now, yeah. And it's still heading northeast, but it definitely was more kind of like more easterly tracking in the last scan. Now this next scan has it now traveling more north and northeast now.
Well, that's a pretty far northern track that I have it on, and maybe Bell Buckle at the far northern extent.
Yeah, I'm talking about just like where the tornado warning is in Giles County. The actual where the tornado is, because it says it's capable of producing, and it says about at 11:15 there was one.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be tracking a little bit more easterly, but the actual tornado warned storm itself is now heading more northerly.
So, Justin, your
Go
thoughts
ahead.
here? I mean, this storm,
It's still quite a bit of ways away, but
Right.
it is definitely.
I know a lot of times left moving means weakening, right moving means strengthening.
mm-hmm.
I'm not overly concerned about it for Rutherford County proper until,
I mean,
I mean,
this storm
it would have to
it would have to
make
take,
a crazy hard left turn and somehow still
yeah.
draw up a considerable amount of warm, moist air and instability and pull that whole boundary north with it. I don't see it doing that.
Yeah, just looking at the trends, it looks like it's starting to weaken as it continues to progress, but it definitely is heading more northerly, just from what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Will it be tornadic capable by the time it gets here? Unlikely. There's a lot of colder dew points that are going to be near the Shelbyville, Lewisburg, Lynchburg, Petersburg areas in the central Bedford and in the northern Moore County. So
So for me, it's, you know, maybe some of the heavier reflectivity, thunder, lightning. Yeah, we might get that on the southern end of the county right in here, but unless we see any changes.
My perspective, it looks like that mesocyclone with the possible tornado is being ejected north, and the rear flank downdraft is gusting out, and this storm, I believe, is even becoming upload dominant.
I mean, we're kind of seeing that on the backside of this, right? As
Yeah.
the last few scans.
While the circulation might be pulling north, it's because it's dying. That mesocyclone's being ejected. And there doesn't appear to be a new one forming off to its southern flank. It looks like that rear flank downdraft is gusting out as a straight line wind event.
So
it looks more outflow orientated now. The inflows are not as strong. But I'm trying to see if they're going to update this polygon here. Capable of producing tornado, but other than that, yeah, for the central parts of Rutherford County, unlikely, but far eastern parts, southeastern parts of Rutherford County, there is a chance to scrape on by.
That's kind of why we will keep rolling here. You can see the radar. We're, of course, closely watching. If anything comes close, you know, if Bedford County, for instance, or Marshall County is for some reason brought into a severe thunderstorm or tornado warning, we'll kind of continue our continuous coverage here. But I think it's a good point to, I mean, we don't want to overwarn. We don't want to, overly alarm anyone. And the chances of this, Justin, I think maybe you would agree, the chances of this really bringing any super severe weather to Rutherford County is probably very low.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Okay. Well, why don't we take
I would be shocked if we even got a severe thunderstorm warning here out of it.
Yeah. So I think for the next few minutes, we'll kind of keep the radar looping, kind of bring it into focus here, let you see what's to the south. You can watch. We'll watch.
Yeah, if it does surprise us, we can come back.
Absolutely. You know, that's kind of what we're here for. So I think just to show that we're kind of taking a step back, we'll go to a radar loop. You won't hear us constantly talking, but you will see the radar if you want to hang in there with us. And of course, we'll jump in with any updates as we get them. So thanks for continuing to be with Rutherford Weather. For meteorologist Justin Bailey, Jay Marsalek, I'm Bryan Barrett, and we'll keep on the storms. Hopefully we'll get this out of here. Don't forget the flash flood warning continues until 5:45 a.m. All right, little update for you. I know this particular stream is entitled Flood and Severe Weather 4-5-25, and we're about to go into 4-6-25. But did want to update you on the power outages. And this is what we're looking at. Still have the power outage that includes several people out in the Rocky Fork Amityville Road area near Rocky Fork Creek. That is the lighter blue. And several other outages in the North Rutherford County area, just I'd say west of Industrial Boulevard, near Nissan Drive at Enon Springs, out on the Jefferson Pike, and another in Smyrna, right at the, well, let's see what that road is. That's Florence Road at New Nashville Highway. Well, no, Florence Road at, I can't zoom in enough to find that out. But near the market right there where it comes out on the New Nashville Highway if you're coming from the Leanna area. So that's where our major outages are. There is also one up toward, it's on Murfreesboro Road on 231, just past Cutoff Road, right before going into Wilson County. And that one was reported at 10:30. So those are the warnings that are not warnings. I'm sorry. Oh man, it's been a long week. Those are the power outages that are going. Let's look at our road closure map and see if we have any additional road closings. Refresh that for you, and nothing that we haven't reported already. Back to radar. I'm going to stop the radar loop for you. And we will take a look and see that there is a red polygon. It goes over into Tullahoma, Lynchburg, down to Fayetteville. I'm just showing you this to prove a point. A broad rotation here. Well, fairly tight rotation there. But this storm is moving in the next 29 minutes to the northeast at 45. So if it's going northeast, here's northeast, and this is 45 miles an hour. This is the last severe storm that's out there, it does appear. And if you can see the places listed in this right here, there's not one in Rutherford County. There's Hillsborough, that's Manchester, Coffee County. So my point is, I think we're in fairly good shape. We've got heavy rain. Look at this. Look at all of this back here. All of this has to continue to move this way. So we definitely have more rain that will continue to fall. We are under the flash flood. I didn't mean to do that. We're under the flash flood warning for another 5 hours and 43 minutes until 5:45 a.m. So that's certainly going to continue. A special flood advisory for Bedford, Marshall, and Coffee for all of that really, really heavy rainfall that's going to fall here in this neck of the woods. That's not us. We don't wish ill will on anyone, but that's south of here. Again, here is Rutherford, right about in there. Okay. So we're going to leave this going for a little bit, but let's take down the anxiety. You know, I really want us to be calm. about this. I really don't see that there is a reason to be overly anxious. If you want to go to bed, go to bed. Have a way to receive warnings if there are warnings issued. Have those wireless emergency alerts enabled on your phone. If you've got a NOAA weather radio, you're in good shape. It could wake a dead man from a sleep. So that's one thing to also note. We'll take a look at the entire composite radar here, just to kind of give you an idea. So finally, the back edge is working toward the Tennessee River. Thank goodness. But all of this has got to move kind of in this direction to the north and east. Where I'm kind of circling. Let me just draw a circle. Why not? I can. Rutherford County. So all of that precipitation has to work its way through here. Where you see yellows and oranges, those are heavier downpours. May have some thunder and lightning within it. But in terms of the severe threat, I know the tornado watch continues until 3, so we're going to keep an eye on it for you. But honestly, I think we're in a good spot. Let's take it, okay? And man, am I looking forward to next week. I'm a warm weather fan. I like summer. But I'm going to enjoy 60s next week and sunshine. It's going to feel good. I'll roll down the windows in the car. Let me check here on some of the comments. Do you think they'll cancel the tornado watch for Rutherford County? Not sure. That's for someone smarter than me to determine. Here's a look at the current radar. And you can see here, the stronger storms are south. This is heavy rain. That's still going to come through. But, I mean, we're at 64 degrees in Murfreesboro and in Smyrna with a dew point of 64. And what that signifies is we've got temperatures and dew points right there at the same area. Actually, the dew point is at 57 in Smyrna now. So those dew points are going down. It's really transferring into a very heavy rain event. Thank you for the question, All Things Wrestling Podcast. Taco T, you are very welcome. Appreciate what you're doing. Just looking at some of the others. Allie, you're very welcome. Thank you, guys. We are glad to do it. Those are some of the last few comments. Smyrna, okay. You know, like I said, I really don't think we're going to have a huge severe weather threat through the evening. We're going to have a heavy rain threat. That's why the flash flood warning is still in effect. But, you know, if you have a wake-up way to receive warnings, which you should, I think you're in good shape to go to bed. Is Murfreesboro good? I want to go to bed. I'm so tired. Rosie, I know. I need a nap too. But again, I think our message here is have a way to get warnings. If there's anything issued, we'll be back. We're here. I'm going to leave this radar going here for the next few minutes. We have crossed over into 4625. We've been going here for almost 2 hours. Going to leave it going for a little while longer, continue to look at stuff here. But again, I do think that we're looking at more of a heavy rain situation than anything. So there is one thing that you can do. Dove Eyes, I agree. Yes. Thank you. Let's get this out of here. One thing you can do when things calm down, there's not a whole lot going on. If you like what we're doing, and we're covering the 618 square miles of Rutherford County. If you like the coverage, what we're trying to do is keep you informed on weather here in Rutherford County. If you appreciate this coverage, you like this coverage, you think it's helpful, what you can do is help us promote it. What does that mean? It's not a promotion for me. It's not a promotion for Justin, meteorologist Justin Bailey, or anyone else. It's just to make sure that folks here in Rutherford County know what's going on with the weather. That's all we're here for. Trust me, this is not a money-making situation. I'm not asking for donations here. I'm not pandering for likes and subscribes, and, well, I'm not pandering for that, but I'm asking you to do that. But it's not for me to make any money, or for Justin to make any money. We just want to make sure that everybody in Rutherford County is safe. If you're safe, that's payment enough. Okay. So if you enjoy the coverage that we're giving, share this, tell folks. You can go to rutherfordwx.com, and there are links to all the social platforms. There's one on there I'm sure that someone's on: Facebook, YouTube, X, Twitch. Those are the ones that were live during impactful and severe weather. Maybe it's winter weather advisory. We're doing that too. If you're new to the channel, just so you know, that's a way to help impact more folks here in Rutherford County. If you like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and also share. Share with anybody that you know that lives within Rutherford County. We have a huge university here in town. So for all the moms and dads that live out of state that want to know whether their child who lives in Rutherford County is safe, they can watch. I know a lot of you worry about your kids. So do I. I was texting earlier, finding out where everybody was, you know? So if you'll do that, that'll help grow the channel, and we can reach more people. That's really what we're about. Okay? So another few more minutes here. I'm going to pull the radar back out and loop it. We're definitely watching from Clarksville to Dixon as all of that more moderate rainfall begins to move to the north and east. Now, if you look in this direction, you're not seeing as heavy returns back here. That's just because it's another radar. Definitely going to have some heavier returns come from that area. So we're watching everything move to the north and east. But right now, things are fairly calm. Dew points back here to the west. There's 54 and 54 temperature. 52 and 52. That's not conducive for severe weather. Do still have this tornado warning here, but this is lifting off to the north and east. And that's not our problem right here in Rutherford County. And I've definitely drawn too much here on the screen for you. So erasing it, we're going to, again, take a little bit more of a step back. We'll leave the radar loop running, and I'll come back here in a few. We'll probably end the stream if there's nothing else. Flash flood warning until 5:45 a.m. for all of Rutherford County. That's what we're kind of watching now. Heather asked, do you stream on multiple platforms? And yes, Facebook, YouTube, X, Twitch. Go Blue Raiders. Absolutely. Blue Raider fans here. Thank you, Dave Dove Eyes, for that. National Weather Service saying lightning, wind, main threats. Can't rule out some severe weather until after 2 a.m., but that is further south. Really do think that our severe threat is, it's not zero, but it's not very high. So that's one of the things that we'll continue to watch. Stay with us here on the Rutherford Weather Channel. Get a little step back. We're going to give you a view of the cameras, a couple of the cameras that we have throughout the county, trying to expand that to give you more views and a look at the radar. We'll be back with more. If there's anything you need to know, and we'll probably step back from coverage here in the next 30 minutes or so. Stay with the Rutherford Weather Channel. All righty. For those who are still with us, a bit of good news. The tornado watch has been canceled. How about that? So no more tornado watch for Rutherford County. The severe weather threat has definitely diminished. And I think we're good. We have been cleared from the tornado watch. So the flash flood warning continues for the next 5 hours plus. Hopefully we'll be okay with all of that. And see if there's an update on the road closures, and nothing. Nothing. So we're good. The tornado warning that was further south is now a severe thunderstorm warning. It's going to be south of the county. More rain coming. But let's go to bed. Are you ready? I am. I'm sure you are too. Power outage map is about the same as it was. So in Rutherford County, we have 213 without power. That's 0.14%. Not bad for the storms we've had this week and tonight and today. So we are going to call it quits for the night. Go to bed. I think we can safely say go to bed. You may hear an occasional rumble of thunder, see some lightning, but general thunderstorms tonight. Can we all sing Kumbaya now? I think so. All Things Wrestling Podcast. Kumbaya, my lord. Kumbaya. Kumbaya, my lord. Kumbaya. How about that? Bet you didn't expect to hear that tonight, right? We're going to end the stream. You can see from our our top camera looking to the east, rain. From our bottom camera looking to the west, rain. That's going to continue. But I think we're done. Going to bed now. You should too. Threat over. Calm weather for the next little bit. We'll be back in the next event that we need to be here on the Rutherford Weather Channel. Thanks for joining tonight. And good night, everybody.